Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for standing by for the NIO Incorporated's first quarter 2023 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to your host, Ms. Eve Tang from Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to NIO's second quarter 2023 earnings conference call. The company's financial and operating results were published in the press release earlier today and are posted at the company's IR website. On today's call, we have Mr. William Li, Founder, Chairman of the Board, and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Stephen Feng, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Stanley Chu, Senior VP of Finance, and Ms. Jade Wei, VP of Capital Markets. Before we continue, please be kindly reminded that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements that are made under the safe harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's actual results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding risks and uncertainties is included in certain filings of the company with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong Limited, and the Singapore Exchange Securities Trading Limited. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements except as required under applicable law. Please also note that NIO's earnings press release and this conference call include discussions of unaudited GAAP financial information as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. Please refer to NIO's press release, which contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to comparable GAAP measures. With that, I will now turn the call over to our CEO, Mr. William Li. William, please go ahead.
大家好，非常感谢各位参加蔚来2023年第二季度的业绩沟通会议。
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining NIO's 2023 Q2 earnings call.
2023年第二季度，蔚来共计交付23520辆高端智能电动汽车。
In the second quarter of 2023, NIO delivered a total of 23,520 smart electric vehicles.
7月，随着更多新产品量产并顺利爬坡，蔚来交付量快速提升，共计交付20462辆高端智能电动汽车，同比增长104%，创月度交付新高。根据中汽中心零售数据，7月，蔚来在中国成交价30万以上的高端电动汽车市场排名第一，市场份额达到59%。
In July 2023, as we started mass production and ramp up of more new models, NIO's monthly delivery volume grew rapidly to 20,462 units, representing a year-over-year growth of 104% and a new monthly high. According to the retail statistics of Qatar, in July, NIO was the best-selling brand in the premium electric vehicle segment with a transaction price of over RMB 300,000, claiming a 59% market share.
得益于蔚来产品组合的逐步完善，销售服务和补能网络的持续扩展，总体销能的提升和营销策略的落地，蔚来 NT2 平台车型的产品竞争力进一步释放。2023年第三季度，我们预计总交付量为55000到57000辆。
As NIO completes its product lineup, further expands the sales and service network and the power network, enhances its all-round sales capability, and rolls out sales and marketing plans, the competitiveness of the NT2 products has been further unleashed. The delivery volume in the third quarter of 2023 is expected to be between 55,000 and 57,000 units.
接下来我跟大家交流一下产品研发和运营方面的进展。
And now I would like to share with you the recent highlights of our products, R&D, and operations.
继开启交付旗舰轿跑 SUV EC7、旗舰轿车2023款 ET7 和全新升级的全能 SUV ES6 之后， 未来于6月开始向用户交付智能电动旅行车 ET5T 以及旗舰 SUV 全新 ES8。未来在2季度完成5款新车型的高质量交付，用户满意度超出我们的预期，体现了未来快速迭代产品和管理多款产品复杂度的能力。
Following the delivery of the flagship coupe SUV EC7, the flagship sedan 2023 NIO ET7, and the all-round SUV all-new ES6 earlier this year, we started to deliver the smart electric tourer ET5 Touring, or ET5T for short, and the flagship SUV all-new ES8 in June. In the second quarter, NIO achieved high-quality delivery of 5 new models, with user satisfaction exceeding our expectations. This also proves NIO's capabilities of conducting fast product iteration and managing product complexity.
未来计划于9月发布和交付全新升级的中型轿跑 SUV EC6， 完成基于 NT2 平台的全部产品切换。未来的8款产品将全面进入高端纯电市场，更好满足高端市场用户的多样化需求，推动整体交付量的稳步增长。
In September, we plan to launch and deliver the new mid-size coupe SUV EC6, which marks the completion of our product transition to the NT2 platform. With that, NIO's entire NT2 product lineup, featuring 8 different models, will have entered the premium BEV market to better cater to the diverse needs of the users in the premium segment and drive the steady growth of deliveries.
未来的产品安全性受到国际传媒机构的高度认可。2023年7月12日，未来智能电动中型轿跑 ET5、智能电动中大型 SUV EL7 在中国市场叫 ES7， 双双获得欧盟新车安全评鉴协会 Euro NCAP 5星安全评级。Euro NCAP 2023年新规启用至今，未来是首个达成5星安全评级的汽车品牌。
NIO's product safety has been highly recognized by authoritative institutions worldwide. On July 12, 2023, NIO's smart electric mid-size sedan ET5 and the mid-large SUV EL7, which is called ES7 in China, both obtained the 5-star safety rating from Euro NCAP, making NIO the first car brand receiving the 5-star rating since Euro NCAP adopted the new testing protocols for 2023.
智能驾驶方面，基于全站自研的端到端能力和数据闭环，未来已经取得了重要进展。一方面，智能驾驶的用户规模和活跃度继续攀升 ，NOP Plus 的开通用户数超过10万，累计行驶里程超过8000万公里。用户使用 NOP Plus 驾驶的里程渗透率在覆盖的路段达到了 53%。另外一方面，包含城区的全域的增强领航辅助，已经在上海和北京展开了多轮先锋用户的尝鲜体验。
Enabled by the full-stack technologies developed in-house and the closed-loop data management, NIO has made significant progress in the assisted and intelligent driving. User base and engagement continue to grow. At present, over 100,000 new users have activated Navigate on Pilot Plus, or NOP Plus, and have driven on it for over 80 million kilometers. The mileage penetration rate of NOP Plus has reached 53%. In the meantime, we have carried out multiple rounds of early bird program in Beijing and Shanghai for NOP Plus in all operational domains, including in urban environments.
销售和服务网络方面，截至目前，包括快闪店在内，我们开设了420家未来中心和未来空间，覆盖143个城市，拥有304家服务中心和58家交付中心，覆盖201个城市。从7月份开始，我们更积极地拓展用户触点和销售渠道，并进一步扩充全国的销售团队。这些举措将提升我们的销售能力，推动销量的增长。
In terms of the sales and service network, so far we have 420 NIO House, NIO Space, and pop-up stores in 143 cities, and 304 service centers, as well as 58 delivery centers in 201 cities worldwide. Since July, we have started to take a more active manner in expanding the user touchpoints and sales channels, and enlarging the sales team in China. These actions will further increase our sales capabilities and propelling sales growth.
充换电网络方面，截至目前，我们全球已经累计布局1747座换电站，累计为用户提供超过2700万次换电服务，其中476座高速换电站贯通6纵4横68大城市群的高速换电网络。我们也已经累计部署超过7900根超充桩和9700根目的地充电桩，未来已经成为国内布局充电桩数量最多的汽车品牌，同时也是高速公路布局充电桩最多的汽车品牌。与此同时，我们的充电地图在全球接入第三方的充电桩超过136万根。
As for the charging and swapping network, to date, we have installed 1,747 power swap stations worldwide and provided more than 27 million battery swaps. Our expressway battery swap network in China consists of 476 swap stations along the 10 major expressways, connecting 68 major cities. We've also deployed over 7,900 power chargers and 9,700 destination chargers. NIO has become the automotive brand with the most public chargers and the most chargers along expressways in China. In the meantime, NIO's charging map has connected with over 1.36 million third-party chargers worldwide.
7月20日，蔚来开启了电池灵活升级日租服务，给用户提供更灵活的电池升级服务，满足更个性化的使用场景。
On July 20th, NIO announced the flexible battery upgrade service by day, providing users with more options and fulfilling more use cases.
7月 NIO Day 2023申办正式拉开序幕，最终西安由蔚来用户票选成为 NIO Day 2023的举办城市。
In July, we organized the host city election for NIO Day 2023, and the city of Xi'an was voted by NIO users as the host city this year.
8月20日，我们携手 WWF 祁连山国家公园，落成全球首个由光伏电站 V2G 双向充电桩和纯电动汽车组成的 V2G 光伏自循环补能体系。此外，我们还发起了 Clean Parks 公民科学家项目，赋能用户和公众共同参与生物多样保护行动，支持国家公园志愿者体系的建设，共同践行 Blue Sky Coming 的愿景。
On August 20th, we partnered with Worldwide Fund for Nature and Qilian Mountain National Park in installing the world's first photovoltaic self-consumption system with V2G capability. It features solar power stations, V2G chargers, and battery electric vehicles. Moreover, we initiated the Clean Parks Citizen Scientist Program to engage more users and the public in conserving biodiversity and supporting the establishment of a volunteer system for national parks, in hope of striving for a shared vision of blue skies.
资本市场方面，阿联酋阿布扎比政府旗下的投资机构 CYVN 于7月份通过定向增发和老股转让的方式，完成了总计约11亿美元的战略投资，并将在未来国际业务上进行战略合作。
In July, NIO received strategic equity investment from Saiwan Holdings, an investment vehicle majorly owned by the Abu Dhabi government. The investment package totaled $1.1 billion. In addition, we will also cooperate with the new strategic investor to jointly pursue opportunities in our international business.
虽然当前的市场环境充满挑战，智能电动汽车市场竞争日益激烈，我们在核心技术、产品布局、销售能力、制造和供应链等方面充分做好了迎接挑战的准备。我们相信公司有能力聚焦市场销售策略的执行，推动交付量稳步提升，同时进一步优化成本结构，全面提升运营效率。我们对下半年的市场表现充满期待。
Although the smart EV market is full of challenges and the competition is increasingly fierce, with our continuous efforts in core technologies, product portfolio, sales capabilities, manufacturing, and logistics, we are fully ready to rise to the challenge. We believe that with focused marketing and sales strategy as well as execution, NIO can drive the steady growth of sales and deliveries, while further optimizing the cost structure and enhancing operating efficiency on all fronts. We look forward to NIO's strong market performance in the second half.
感谢大家的支持。现在 Steven 将为大家介绍第二季度的财务业绩。有请 Steven。
As always, thank you for your support. With that, I will now turn the call over to Steven, who will provide the financial details for the second quarter. Over to you, Steven.
Thank you, William. I will now go over our key financial results for the second quarter of 2023. And to be mindful of the length of this call, I will reference to RMB only in my discussion today. I encourage listeners to refer to our earnings press release, which is posted online for additional details. Our total revenues in the second quarter were 8.8 billion RMB, representing a decrease of 14.8% year-over-year and a decrease of 17.8% quarter-over-quarter. Our total revenues are made up of two parts: vehicle sales and other sales. Vehicle sales in the second quarter were 7.2 billion RMB, representing a decrease of 24.9% year-over-year and 22.1% quarter-over-quarter. The decrease in vehicle sales year-over-year was mainly due to lower average selling price as a result of a higher proportion of 85 and 75 kWh standard range battery pack deliveries and decrease in delivery volume. The decrease in vehicle sales quarter-over-quarter was mainly due to a decrease in delivery volume. Other sales in the second quarter were 1.6 billion RMB, representing an increase of 119.9% year-over-year and 9.3% quarter-over-quarter. The increase in other sales year-over-year was mainly due to the increase in sales of used cars, accessories, and provisional power solutions as a result of continued growth of our users. The increase in other sales quarter-over-quarter was mainly due to the increase in sales of used cars and provisional power solutions as a result of continued growth of our users, partially offset by a decrease in revenue from provision of auto financing services. Gross margin in the second quarter of 2023 was 1.0%, compared with 7.0% in the second quarter of 2022 and 1.5% in the first quarter of 2023. Vehicle margins in the second quarter was 6.2%, compared with 16.7% in the second quarter of 2022 and 5.1% in the first quarter of 2023. The decrease in vehicle margin year-over-year was mainly attributed to changes in product mix, partially offset by the decreased battery cost per unit. The increase in vehicle margin quarter-over-quarter was mainly due to decreased promotion discount for the previous generation of ES8, ES6, and EC6. R&D expenses in the second quarter were 3.3 billion RMB, representing an increase of 55.6% year-over-year and an increase of 8.7% quarter-over-quarter. The increase in research and development expenses year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter was mainly attributed to, first, the increased personnel costs in R&D functions and increased share-based compensation expenses recognized in the second quarter of 2023. And second, the incremental design and development costs for new products and technologies. SG&A expenses in the second quarter were 2.9 billion RMB, representing an increase of 25.2% year-over-year and an increase of 16.8% quarter-over-quarter. The increase in SG&A expenses year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter was primarily due to, first, the increase in personnel costs related to sales functions. Second, the increase in sales and marketing activities increased the launch of new products. And third, increased rental and related expenses related to company sales and service network expansion. Loss from operations in the second quarter was 6.1 billion RMB, representing an increase of 107.5% year-over-year and an increase of 18.8% quarter-over-quarter. Net loss in the second quarter was 6.1 billion RMB, representing an increase of 119.6% year-over-year, an increase of 27.8% quarter-over-quarter. Our balance of cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, short-term investment, and long-term time deposits was 31.5 billion RMB as of June 30, 2023. Now, this concludes our prepared remarks. I will now turn the call over to the operator to facilitate our Q&A session.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star then 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press star then 2. We ask that you please limit yourself to 2 questions. If you are on a speakerphone, please pick up the handset to ask your question. And the first question will come from Ben Wong of Credit Suisse. Please go ahead.
Thank you. My question is about your sales network structure. Recently, I heard you hire a few of the salesperson from other luxury brands such as the BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. So what's the reason you hired the non-NIO salesperson recently, and how is the impact so far for your sales volume increase? We also found that in your third quarter guidance, you actually imply in the August and September will be lower compared to July. So can I know what's the reason behind that? Is because any supply chain issue? Thank you so much.
好，谢谢王斌。我们在今年的大概6月份吧，我们其实还是意识到了一个问题，就是我们的销售人员的数量和我们的销售能力还是落后于整个市场的这个我们的竞争对手的。举个例子来讲，比如说从宝马、奔驰这样的主流的豪华品牌的角度，高端品牌的角度来讲，那么他们的销售人员在那个时间点大体上是我们的6到7倍左右，就是整个的销售人员。那么销售人员和销售的这种 touch point 不够的话呢，其实对我们的用户的这个满意度、试驾、转换率各方面的影响都还是很大的，也根本无法去满足我们同时销售7到8款车的这样的一个这个销售的这个需求吧，就这个很多方面做不细，所以我们其实是大体上从7月份开始吧，我们其实是开始全面的提升我们的这个销售能力。我们内部的目标是希望呢，按照这个每个月能够卖到3万台左右去看我们的这个销售人员和我们的一些包括销售的网点呢这样的一些扩展。那么这个工作我们计划是到9月底能够完成这个扩展的工作。当然这个指的是销售的能力啊，但我们还要这些人员要招聘到位，要培训他们，还有一些 location 我们要去找到这样的一些 place 去达成这样的一些销售能力。我们希望在9月底能初步建立这样一个能力，10月份的话呢，能够真正开始能够形成这样的一些销能。所以这个其实是我们目前在发现我们的一些问题，我们在进行了一些改进。所以如果去看的话呢，我们在这方面的话呢，我们从7月份、8月份开始是比较积极的在做这样的一些布局和拓展。当然这个中间的话呢，在人员方面的话呢，特别到一些下沉市场，比如说地级市啊，一些3、4线城市，我们当然是希望有一些更多的这样的一些有经验的一些销售人员能够加入啊，他们有他们的一些用户的基数，能够更好的开展这个虽然我们有的地方没有店铺，但是我们有这样有经验的人员能够更好的帮我们去执行这个销售的这个任务啊。这是第一个问题，这我们正在做的这样一些事情。
Well, thank you, Bing Wang. For your first question, actually, around June, we have realized that inside of the company, in terms of the number of our salespersons as well as the capabilities of selling products, we are lagged behind by the competitors in the market. For example, for those luxury brands like BMW or Mercedes, the size of their sales team is 6 to 7 times of ours. Without sufficient personnel or touch point, we cannot realize a very good user satisfaction, realize very good test drives, or high conversion rate from leads to orders. So starting from July and August, we have taken a more active manner in improving our sales capabilities. And with that, we hope that the company will be able to support the new orders of 30,000 units per month. That will be contributed by our sales network as well as the personnel increase, so that by the end of September, we will be able to realize that target. Of course, it takes time for us to really train the personnel and also to find the locations. So we will have that initial capability ready by the end of September, and then the real effect will kick in from October. That is our existing plan for the improvement. This is also why starting July and August, we've been taking some active measures and actions in expanding our sales network and touch points, especially in lower tier cities where we don't have a full-fledged facilities or stores. We hope to really secure and hire experienced and seasoned salespersons who have their networks and user bases already to help us with the sales tasks.
第二个问题就是，如果看我们的指引的话呢，因为我们7月份已经交付超过2万台了，那确实如果简单的就看我们的指引的话呢，我们8月份、9月份和7月份比，似乎是有一些差距，这个从数字上来讲是这样的。但如果我们去看的话呢，我们7月份，因为你们也知道，我们7月底的话呢是有一个换电传译调整的一个配坡啊，就是我们实际上是换电传译。原来我们有免费4次和每个月4次和6次的换电传译，从8月1号起，新的这种订单就没有这个传译了。那我们把有一些这个确实对换电有刚需的这样一些用户，那么把他的需求有一些提前的释放啊，所以这个其实对我们7月份的需求呢，对我们7月份的这个交付的数量肯定是有一些影响的。那从8月份开始的话呢，我们也能看到，确实这个它需要一些时间，我们的订单恢复到一个正常的水平。好的消息是我们8月份的试驾的数量，和这个例子啊，这个试驾的数量都创历史新高啊。现在我们每个周末的试驾量都能够在1万，差不太都是在1万左右吧，是可能有的时候是能超过1万的。这个其实跟6月份、7月份相比的话呢，是有显著的一个提升，也能看到我们在销能方面的一些布局所取得的一些进展。那么从这些试驾到订单的转化，它是需要有些时间的啊，这个我们也需要一点点耐心。总的来说的话呢，我们对于这个需求的这个保持稳定的增长，我们还是有信心的。当然近期的呢，外部环境也有一些压力，这个从宏观的经济各方面来讲也有些压力啊。那我们在近期的这种预计方面的话呢，我们当然还是希望能够这个充分考虑到这样宏观的一些压力啊。这是一个综合的一个考虑吧。我们对于完成这个交付的数量还是有信心的。那当然我也还是希望大家理解，就是从7月份来看的话，我们在30万以上的纯电的市场，我们是有59%的份额，我们事实上在高端的纯电的市场的地位，仍然是非常稳固的啊。我们确实在高端的用户从这个油车转换到电车这个过程中，我们希望通过更多的渠道的覆盖，更多的这个销售能力的准备，能够去加快这样一个转化。
And regarding your second questions, in July we have delivered more than 20,000 vehicles, and as shown by our guidance, our delivery volume in August and September are lower than that in July. This is mainly because by the end of July we have announced the adjustments to our power swap user benefits. Before, users enjoy or are entitled to 4 or 6 free swaps per month, but starting from August 1st, all the new orders are not entitled to free swaps anymore. This also helps us to put ahead some orders or users with strong demand for power swap in July, and this has also affected the delivery volume in July. In terms of the August, we believe that it will take some time for the order momentum and intake to be back to the normal track. But in the meantime, in August, we've also witnessed a new high of the numbers of test drives and leads. Average speaking, during the weekends, we have more than 10,000 test drives. This represents a significant growth from the past month. And in the meantime, we also understand that it will take some time for the test drive to be truly converted into orders, and we will wait for that. But overall speaking, we are very confident in stabilizing the order intake as well as the delivery volume. In the meantime, we also needed to understand the external challenges, especially the challenges and the pressure from the macroeconomic environment. So our forecast and guidance have also considered that those external factors. But overall speaking, we are confident in the delivery volumes we provided. Also, we must understand that in July, inside of the premium battery electric vehicle segment priced over 300,000 RMB, we have already realized the 59% market share. This has proven a very solid foothold of NIO in this segment, and we will continue to make efforts in transforming and converting ICE users into buying EVs in the premium segment. In this case, we will also make more efforts in expanding our channels and touchpoints.
Thank you, Wang Bin.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Tim Hsiao of Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. So my first question, basically just want to follow up regarding the sales volumes into second half, because as William just mentioned, we successfully upgraded our sales team and sales network. So looking into fourth quarter, I recall that we expect our monthly sales can stay above 20,000. So if that's the case, looking into fourth quarter, should we expect NIO to grow the sales further to above 20,000 or even like 25,000? And what could be the contribution from the 4 volume driving models covering like ET5, ES6? So could you just provide some update regarding volume? And my second question is about the gross profit margin, because according to the management's previous guidance, I think the vehicle gross profit margin could get back to double digit in second half. So after the 30,000 RMB cut in late June, do you still stick to your previous view on sequential margin expansion into second half? What would be the pace in third quarter and fourth quarter respectively? That's my second question. Thank you.
好，谢谢 Tim。第一个问题，我们的目标当然还是每个月的销量稳定在2万以上啊，这个交付量，这当然是我们的目标。我们也是按照 Q4 往这个目标去努力的。那从目前来讲，我前面讲到了我们的销售能力是按照每个月3万去准备我们的销售能力啊，不管是这个渠道的布局还是人员的布局，这些销能的提升。我们在9月底完成这样一个布局，我们还要对人员进行培训，我们对很多方面的一些准备工作，我们相信在10月份能看到一个非常积极的这样一个结果。所以如果从 NIO 的这个过去的历史来看的话，我们第一代平台的这个车的这个销量这个增长到一个合理的增长的一个比较好的水平的话呢，是我们车上市了1到2年之后啊。所以在2021年啊，比如说我们2019年我们发布了 ES6， 我们2021年我们整个的销量到达一个相对来说比较好的这么一个状态。所以我们认为呢，这一波的产品，它的这个销量的提升，我们认为还是非常有信心的啊。那当然具体到这里边5566的量，我们这里面当然最主要的还是5566的量。EC6 是在9月份交付，那爬产需要一定的时间。在它所在的细分市场肯定是会有一个 dominate 的这个 market share 啊，在它所在的这种市场。那总的来说呢，5566我们总的量我们还是认为在1万5到2万之间啊，大概在这么一个 range 啊，这个我们还是有信心的。当然7778啊这个增加的部分，这个还是我们的一个目标，我们总的来说对这个是有信心的。
Thank you, Tim, for your question. Regarding your first question, of course, we target to realize and stabilize our monthly delivery to be above 20,000 units starting Q4 this year. But in the meantime, we are also preparing our sales capability so that we can support the new orders of 30,000 units per month. In this case, we are expanding our channels and also personnel. As I've mentioned, we will be acquiring these initial capabilities by the end of September, and we will take some time for the preparation and the ramp up. We believe that the effect of our sales capability improvement will be kicking in from October and November, with positive progress from that time point. In terms of the reference to the NT1 product we've experienced, normally we realize that it will take around 1 to 2 years for the new product to reach a sound and stable volume on the monthly basis. For example, for our first generation ES6, it was launched in 2019, and it was not until 2021 that it has a rather stable and sound monthly delivery. So we are very confident with our new products. In terms of the volume products, including ET5, ET5T, ES6, and EC6, these are 4 volume products. For the EC6, it will be delivered starting September, and it will take some time for the production and the delivery ramp up. But within its own segment, it will be dominating the major market share. So with these 4 models combined, we believe that its monthly volume will be stabilized at around 15 to 20,000 units. In terms of higher volume, higher series products like EC7, ET7, ES7, as well as ES8, we are expecting also increments on their sales volume.
Yeah, Stanley will answer the second question.
Yeah, hi Tim. Regarding the gross profit margin, as shown in our Q2 financials, the vehicle margin is 6.2%, similar with Q1. The key reasons are sales and production volume at a lower level, driving higher manufacturing cost and other cost allocation, and also more promotions to the users and also marketing efforts during the product transition period. But along with our sales and volume wrap up of all our NT2 products, our target to achieve the double-digit gross profit margin in Q3 and 15% in Q4, if we can control the battery cost and other costs well. So,
yeah, 降价的影响已经在里面消化掉。
Yeah.
So we have already digested the impact of the price reduction.
Got it. Thank you very much, William and Stanley. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
The next question comes from Yuquan Ding of HSBC. Please go ahead.
Thanks, team. Yuquan here. I got 2. First question is, we practically have all the models are now refreshed and then newly launched based on 2.0 platform. 8 model is a pretty comprehensive coverage. We will be expecting strong ramp up in the coming 6 months in a visible way. But how do we expect the key growth drivers if we're looking at 12 to 18 months, especially in terms of new product? How do we fill in the already comprehensive product portfolio, or the software going to be the next leg of growth? The second question is on the OPEX side. So this year we have new model launches and we have the sales channel upgrade. But next year, when we roll into next year, could we see the absolute OPEX value dialed down a little bit? Thank you.
OK， 谢谢于倩。对第一个问题的话呢，我们确实在9月份的话，我们 NT2 的8款产品就已经都这个 launch 了。那如果看的话呢，我们在过去这几个月里边，我们大概在几个月里面能够 launch 5款全新车型，再加上1款改款的车型，是能够看到我们的这个整个研发的效率和整个执行的效率还是非常高的。这个也是智能电动汽车给整个汽车行业带来的一个挑战，你需要在一个比较短的时间窗口去 launch 这些车啊，因为智能化的这个变化是非常的快的。那从另外一个角度来讲的话呢，我们 NT2 的这个软件的很多的功能呢，还是在逐步释放的过程中，比如说这个 AD 相关的这样的一些功能，自动驾驶相关的这些功能，我们在将来的几个月里面会有很多的落地的服务啊去开展，所以这些当然会推动我们整个产品竞争力的这个提升。另外我前面也讲到了的话，我们的销售能力的扩展，我们是希望我们现在总的来说 是按照3万的销售能力去布局我们整个的渠道和人员。那这些的话呢，都能够给到我们的后续的增长能带来一个好的一个基础啊。那所以我们如果去看的话呢，我们这8款车基本上已经覆盖了这个高端市场的80%的这样一个用户的需求了。那我们现在要做的事情很重要一个任务，也是我们在3季度完成了已经完成了一个组织架构的调整。我们需要每一款车从总部到区域都需要有专门的团队把每一款车去卖好，这个也是会是我们的一个营销的精细化执行的一个非常重要的一个工作。
Thank you for your question. Regarding your first question, as you may know that starting from September, we will launch our EC6 into the market, and with that, all 8 models on the NT2 platforms will be launched to the market. And over the past several months, we have launched 5 brand new models plus a facelift. In such a short time frame, we are able to realize the high quality deliveries of these models. This has also demonstrated our R&D efficiency as well as the strong execution. But in the meantime, we also need to realize that it's a challenge brought by the smart electric vehicles to the entire industry, as in a very short time frame, we need to catch up to the changes of all the smart technologies. But in the meantime, for all the NT2 products, we're looking at more software features to be updated and released. For example, our NIO assisted and intelligent driving. For the coming month, we will be rolling out some new features and also services. This will help us to improve the competitiveness of the product. And also, as we've mentioned, we are developing the sales capabilities inside of the company so that we can reach out to broader channels with more salespersons and support the new orders of 30,000 units per month. This will also be a very concrete foundation for the continuous growth of the sales and the deliveries in the coming months. If you look at our 8 models on the NT2 platform, they are already covering 80% of the needs in the premium market. And also, we have also adjusted our organizational structure starting from the 3rd quarter, so that from the headquarters to the regional companies, we will be having dedicated teams managing and responsible for each of the model across the life cycle. This is also the efforts we've made from the sales and marketing perspective.
Hi, Yuqian. Regarding the OPEX of next year, the next year the budget for us has not been ready. So at this moment, I may not be able to give you the precise number, but I can give you some feeling. Regarding the R&D expense, as introduced in last quarters, on average, each quarter this year, the non-GAAP R&D investment will be RMB 3 to 3.5 billion. For this year. I think for next year, we will keep similar like investment R&D activities. And regarding the SG&A expense, as explained by William, we have the relatively more aggressive sales target for the second half of this year. I think should be for next year. So the absolute value for SG&A will grow accordingly, since we need more market activities and events. But the percentage of total sales revenue, I think, will decline compared with the first half of this year and also the whole year of 2023, because of the improvements in both, I think, delivery volume and also operating efficiency. Thank you, Yuqian.
The next question comes from Jeff Chung of Citi. Please go ahead.
Hey, 你好，李总。Hello, I have 2 questions. First question is our refinancing plan going forward. And the second question is our cash flows projection into the 3rd quarter and 4th quarter. So why I am asking this is because we saw the 1st quarter the net cash outflow was 10.6 billion, but improved to the cash outflow of 5.9 billion in the second quarter. And within the second quarter, we also saw the inventory Q-on-Q delta of around 5 billion, while the account payable, account receivable remained stable. So that said, if the third quarter inventory came down, plus the operating leverage with a volume hike, whether we should see the cash outflow should be significantly narrowing further. This is my first question. And my second question is about the third quarter and fourth quarter GP margin guidance. When can we return to a 10% or double-digit level, as well as the third quarter, fourth quarter SG&A as a percentage of the revenue guidance? That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Stanley, please answer the first question.
Yeah. Regarding the cash flow, I think regarding the cash flow and also the refinancing plans, I think several points about this. One is regarding operating cash flow. I think as the delivery volume ramp up from Q3 this year, our operating cash flow will be significantly improved compared with Q1 and Q2 of this year. And we also carried out a series of measures to control the CapEx investment and also manage our investment cadence prudently, like delay or cancel of certain CapEx investments. This will also help us to manage the healthy cash flow. And additionally, as explained in William's comments, we received $740 million strategic investment from CYVN. And we also completed the offering of our first off-balance sheet ABS in Q3. I think both our US dollar and also RMB financing channels remain unobstructed, and all those will enable us to keep a healthy cash position and support the ongoing business development of the company. And regarding the refinancing plan, we will disclose our plan accordingly if there is any capital market related updates. But at this moment, I think we don't have the precise information to communicate with you. Yeah, that's the first question regarding the cash flow and also refinancing plan. The second is for this year's margin. Yeah, for this year's margin, I think we have explained in the previous questions. And for Q3, our target is to achieve the double-digit gross profit margin, and Q4 is 15%. And for SG&A guidance, I think the absolute value will grow along with our delivery volume and sales growth. But its percentage of total revenue will decrease. But according to the market situation, the adjustment and change of our marketing strategy will be quite dynamic. So at this moment, I cannot give you a precise guidance about the percentage of SG&A over sales revenue. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Just a correction here. I mentioned the inventory Q-on-Q delta was a 5 billion, which was wrong. I just checked it. The Q-on-Q delta was only 2 billion. That's it from my side. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
The next question comes from Ming Hun Lee of Bank of America. Please go ahead.
谢谢管理层。那我so I have two questions. The first question is currently you have 8 products to cover the majority of the luxury car segment. So could you give more guidance on any of the new product planned next year under the NIO brand as well as the Alps brand? And the second question is, what is your latest business progress for the mobile business? Thank you.
谢谢明。明年 NIO 的 brand 不会交付新的这个全新产品啊，当然我们会有一些年度的产品改进，这个是就是按照每年的一些常规的一些产品的改进，这个当然会有。但是我们 NIO 没有全新的产品交付啊，全新的产品，我们认为把现在的这些产品去把它卖好，它的质量稳定了以后，这个全面提升它的销售的这个表现，是有非常大的机会的。就像我说到了，我们21年其实也没有任何的新的产品，但是我们的销量、毛利各方面质量都是达到了一个非常好的这样的一个水准啊，所以这是一方面。当然这个 Alps 的话呢，我们的 Massive Market Brand 明年在下半年我们会有这个第一款产品会发布啊。这个整个开发的工作还是非常的顺利的，我们已经这个 VB 车我们事实上已经下线了啊。那目前整个的开发进展都是非常顺利的。那么这款车Alps 的第一款车我们是相信非常有市场竞争力的啊。那么这个但目前进展都一切顺利。
Thank you for your question. For NIO brand, actually, we don't plan to launch any new products in the year of 2024. Of course, we will still roll out some routine facelifts or product upgrades, but we haven't planned any new products for next year because we think that it's more important for us to stay focused on our existing 8 products on the NT2 platform to continuously improve its qualities and also market performance. Just like in 2021, we didn't launch any new models, but still we have realized a very good gross margin, sales volume, as well as quality performance. So that's the plan for the brand of NIO. In terms of our mass market brand Alps, we plan to launch the very first model from Alps in the second half of next year. Right now, the R&D activities are proceeding according to the plan. Actually, we have just rolled out the verification build of the first model from Alps. And this model will be highly competitive in its product segment.
当然，这个 Alps 的开发的理念和 NIO 的话呢，会有一些不一样啊。因为 Alps 的话呢，它是面向 massive market， 所以我们会追求每一款车的这个销量啊，这个它的总的每一款车的销量，我们的款数不会太多。那我们第二款车已经在开发的过程中。那么 NIO 的话呢，因为是针对 premium 的市场，我们认为这个个性化的需求是用户非常重要的一个需求啊，就像这个Mercedes 和Mercedes 和 BMW 在中国都有40-50款车在销售，所以这个是高端市场的一个特点。那么在 massive market 我们会更加的去看每一款车的这个销量啊，所以这个我们的开发理念会有一些不一样，而且更专注在家用的这个市场。那么这个是目前从一个产品的方向可以去跟大家做一些交流。那当然手机的话呢，我们确实是围绕着 NIO 的用户，特别是第二代车型的这样的一些用户，我们有非常多的以车为中心的这样一些移动互联的体验。我们相信手机的推出对于增加我们车的竞争力是有意义的。我们并不是要去进入到一个像国内的这些手机厂商那样的一个这个去争夺他们的市场，我们还是看到了这个我们的用户对于一个更好匹配车的这样一个移动设备的这样的一个需求。我相信我们现在整个手机的定义是完全能满足一个需求的，而且它本身它的软件的底层的软件和我们车端的座舱的软件也是一致的啊，也是匹配的。 所以我们目前计划是9月下旬会交付手机的产品。
And also for the brand of Alps, its R&D philosophy is different from that of NIO. Alps is targeting at the mass market, and we will not have many products in the lineup for Alps. But for NIO, it's different. It is targeting at the premium segment where we care more about the personalization and also the differentiations of the products. Just like Mercedes and BMW in China, they're selling 40, 50 models. That is a unique character of the premium segment. But for Alps, for the mass market, it will be more family-oriented, and we will also care more on the sales volume of each model launched by Alps. In terms of our phone business, our mobile phone will be developed mainly for our new users, especially the users of our NT2 products. And the phone itself is developed centering on the vehicles, but with better mobility and connectivity experience. We are actually believing that with the phone business, it can help us to improve the competitiveness of our vehicle products, because our phone business is not to compete with those phone makers. Instead, we would like to use the phone as a carrier to provide the best experience for our vehicle users. Moreover, the underlying software and the underlying logic between the phone and the cars share quite a lot of similarities. In terms of the launch plan for the phone, we plan to introduce our first phone product in the second half or in the late September.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Paul Gong of UBS. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my questions. So 2 questions here. The first question is regarding the sales channel. You mentioned that you are going to expand it. You feel it's behind of the BMW and Mercedes-Benz in terms of the channel as well as a salesperson. But how does it compare to other EV startups? Are we ahead or are we behind? And how much do you think about the expansion of the store network and the sales personnel versus the sales efficiency improvements? And you also mentioned you are going to reach 30,000 monthly sales capability. How does that compare to today? Is that fair to assume currently we have the capability to sell 20,000 monthly sales, given we already achieved that in July, and the expanding would be about 50% compared to today to 30,000? How does this mathematics work? This is my first question. The second question is regarding the battery swap versus fast charging. Given the batteries, the semiconductors, as well as even the charging piles, DC charging stations, all this seems to be rolling out with the industrial efforts. I understand it's good to have both the battery swap as well as the fast charging, but would you consider the rolling out of the fast charging kind of weaken the battery swap convenience and the competitive edge of NIO's cars? Thank you.
OK， 谢谢 Paul。对我们和一些目前销量比较高的这样一些新的创业公司相比的话，如果我们看到6月底的纯粹销售人员的数字，我们大体上只有别人的1半左右啊。这个是我们的一个问题。我们确实在服务网络方面，我们投入的，比如说换电站的人啊，比如说我们的道路服务的人，比如说我们 NIO House 里边的这样的一些服务的同事啊，这个我们确实是要比，这是我们的一些特点，我们的 service 和 community 方面的一些特点是比别的同行是要多的啊。但是我们直接卖车的这个 fellow。我们的门店里面的这些用户顾问，我们其实是比我们的同行要少的啊，和这个有一些其实不管是销量比我们多的还是比我们少的，都是要少的。那这个我们其实是意识到这样一个问题，因为4月份、5月份的时候呢，我们的交付数比较少，所以我们当时在这方面的 action 呢，其实执行的不是特别的快。到6月份，我们的车就开始多了以后，我们认识到了我们对试驾的满足率，我们试驾的质量 都因为人手的问题受到了包括成交的效率都有很大的影响，所以我们从7月份开始，我们开始增加人手包括增加这样的一些这个门店的数量那这其实是7月份我们在做的一个动作。所以总的来说的话呢，我们认为我们要达到大概这个5000人左右，才可能和现在头部的这样的一些比我们销量高的这样一些同行的差不多这样的一个销能那当然还需要一些时间，把每个人的平均的这个销售数量还要提升上来。但7月份的时候呢，如果我们看到2万的这样一个数字的话呢，是说明我们的交付的能力已经到了。因为交付的话呢，相对来说是还好一些，但是如果真的是从一个常规的一个销售的角度来讲的话，我们现在的能力还是落后于我们的计划的，所以这是目前总的一个状态。
Thank you for your questions. If you look at the size of the sales teams in comparison to other EV startups in China, actually by the end of June, the size of our sales team is only half of those of other companies. Of course, in terms of the service network, we have specialists and teams working for the power swap stations, roadside services, as well as at the new houses. So for the service and the community part, we have a bigger team than other EV startups. But when it comes to the actual salesperson, in our company, we call them fellows. In terms of the number of fellows, we are actually have a much smaller team than all the other companies in the industry. In April and May this year, our delivery volume was not very high. By then, we didn't really realize the importance of the sales capabilities or taking any actions. But starting from June, as we ramp up our delivery volumes, we gradually realized that the insufficient sales teams has affected the satisfaction and also the executions of many things, including test drive and also order conversions. That's why starting from July, we have started to develop our sales channels as well as the sales teams. For comparison, to ramp up to the comparable sites, we believe that we need around 5,000 people working on the sales team. But of course, it takes time for us to have that many people on the team and also to train them with the corresponding capabilities. In terms of the delivery volume in July, we have delivered more than 20,000 cars, but that demonstrated our capability in terms of the deliveries, which is relatively easier than realizing sales capabilities.
另外一点，我想强调一下渠道。我们目前呢，从 NIO 来讲的话呢，我们江苏、浙江和上海3个省市占了我们销量1半以上。那么我们在一些像安徽这样的一些中西部的省份，我们省会城市大概占我们销量的90%左右，80-90%左右，80到90%。所以如果拿安徽来举例子的话呢，就是宝马、奔驰他们1半以上的销量来自于这个合肥以外的城市，他们基本上在每个地级市都有他们的这个 4S 店。而我们其实刚刚才在芜湖在安徽第2大的城市才刚刚有我们的 NIO House， 所以我们在渠道方面的这种下沉确实是我们很紧迫的一个任务那我们的换电站当然也在做这方面的一些准备，我们从6月份开始换电站开始提速，那么现在每个月开始能够有超过100座的换电站，这个月我们能够部署超过100座的换电站。那么这些动作的话呢，它有一定的滞后效应，但是我们认为这样的一些投资是能够显著的帮我们去提高后边的用户的触点和提高我们的这种销售的可能性的。
And another thing is about the channels. If you look at our sales distribution, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai, these 3 places basically contribute half of our sales volumes. But for other provinces like in Anhui, the capital city itself is contributing around 80-90% of the sales volume. If we take Anhui as an example, for other brands like BMW or Mercedes, half of their sales volume in Anhui province is contributed by cities outside of Hefei, and they basically have dealership stores in all the cities in Anhui province. And for us, we've just opened our NIO house in the second largest city in Anhui province, that is in Wuhu. In this case, we really need to take efforts in increasing our penetrations into the lower tier cities. In addition to the sales channels, we are also developing and expanding our power swap networks into more cities. For the past several months, we've been developing our power swap stations in a much faster manner. And in August, we expect that we will deploy and install more than 100 power swap stations. Of course, it will take time for all these measures to kick in, but this investment will be very important for our long-term capability.
第二个问题就是换电和充电的关系。事实上来讲，我们一直都是坚持可充可换可升级的一个整体的理念。我们是根据用户的场景和用户的体验，去给它打造最好的这样的一个充换电的这样的一个体验。那我们也是中国部署这个充电桩最多的汽车品牌啊，前面我也讲过了。那我们认为快充的技术对于换电站来讲是一个正面的事情，因为总的来说能够提高我们的换电站服务的这个用户的数量。从另外一方面来讲的话，我们其实主要部署的是充换一体站，就是可充可换可升级的充换一体站。那么我们现在部署的大部分的都是这样的，这样的话能满足用户更好的一个需求。那关于换电和超充的关系啊，就是我们有很多的很多的这个讨论。我们从目前来讲的话，我们当然换电的体验肯定比充电都还是好很多的啊。我们认为这当然长期来说还是我们非常重要的竞争优势。
Regarding your second question about power swapping versus faster charging, as we've always mentioned that chargeable, swappable, and upgradable have been the philosophy of our power solutions, and we've been choosing the optimal solutions and also the best experience for our users based on the actual scenarios and use cases. And as we are developing our power swapping network, we are also the automotive brand with the most public chargers in China, as I've mentioned in my opening remark. Of course, we believe that with the development of the fast charging technology, it will also help us with the power swap operations as it can improve the service capacity of the swap stations. Not to mention that many of the stations we've installed as of today are integrated stations featuring both chargers as well as power swap. So in terms of the power swapping and the faster charging, we've also had many discussions between these two technologies, but we believe that so far power swapping is still having a much better experience than faster charging, and it will continue to be a very unique advantage and the competitiveness of NIO.
Thank you very much. That's very helpful. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, William.
Thank you, Paul.
The next question comes from Jing Chang of CICC. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you for your sharing. I have two following up questions. The first is about our other sales revenue and profit margin. As we can see that after our policy adjustment, what is our expectation for the future revenue and also profit margin for other sales after our battery swap started to gain money, gain profit, and in particular, do they have any internal calculation of the profitability of the battery swapping business? So what is the upward trend of our gross profit margin for other sales in the following few quarters, and when will it turn positive? This is my first question. And my second is about technology improvement. We have always been focused more on R&D investment and also technology accumulation. So looking forward, regarding to our next generation platform, NT3, so what improvement can we expect, or what are the major areas of our effort to put in? So can you just share a few insights or information about that? This is my two questions. Thank you.
Hi, Jing. This is Danny. Regarding your first question about the other sales revenue and margin. As you mentioned, we canceled the free battery swap policies in Q3. So therefore, there will be more users to pay for battery swap services. And as the sales keep growing, we think more battery swap service revenue can be realized. But since it's only 1 month from the policy adjustment, so we still need some time to observe and assess the impact of this policy change. Second is with the power swap station, the third generation put into operation starting from this April, we will accelerate the deployment of the power swap station in the following quarters. And for this year, our plan is to build 1,000 stations. But at current stage, the capacity won't be fully utilized. So the losses from the accelerated construction of power swap station will increase. So I think that's basically the guidance for the other sales revenue. Yeah.
Yeah， 我们如果去看换电的这个业务的话，事实上它的效率本身，换电本身的效率还是非常高的。如果我们去看这些或者毛利，跟我们以前免费换电里面，我们电费也是含在里边的。如果我们放在一个从服务费的角度去看的话，我们现在的换电是付费换电是收30块钱一次的服务费，我们的付费换电的比例也在越来越高。比如说我们的一些二手车的用户，那么他就必须使用付费换电，这个比例我们看到它在持续的提高，因为这是一个存量的生意。如果我们去看的话，我们现在每个换电站3代换电站基本上每天到60次，其实就能够 break even， 服务费就能够变成一个有盈利的业务。那么这点从目前来看的话呢，我们已经 almost 20%左右的换电站已经达到了这个标准。所以总的来说的话，我们对于换电业务的可持续当然是非常有信心的，因为它要考虑储能很多方面的一些收入，这个业务模式比这个会更好一些。
Actually, the inherent efficiency of the power swap business is pretty high. Before we have negative margin on this part, it's mainly because when we were offering free power swaps, the electricity costs were also included in that offering. But now we are charging that separately. In addition, we are also charging our users 30 RMB per swap as the service fee. Actually, we are seeing growing demand for such charged power swap services, especially many used car users. They are actually using this service, so the percentage for the users to use the paid swap service is also growing. It's mainly a business for the existing users and existing population. For the third generation power swap stations, we've also done a rough calculation. When it completes 60 swaps per day, it basically can be breaking even, and its service revenues will be covering its operating costs. Right now, around 20% of our third generation stations are able to realize such performance and capability. So for the long run, we believe that power swap is also a sustainable business, as in addition to offering power swap services, we also have other diversified business models, like we can leverage the energy storage.
那从第二个问题，从 NT3 的研发的角度来讲，当然一方面提高我们这个整个全站的能力，在这个基础之上，我们的产品的体验和这个产品本身的性能肯定是能够超越这个我们能够给我们带来全球的一个竞争的优势。那从另外一方面来讲的话呢，我们一些核心的技术的研发也能够帮我们去提升这个毛利啊，这个也是能够看到毛利和效率的提升的 这个运营效率的提升的包括研发效率它这个从效率方面的提升也是非常显著。
Regarding the second question about our next generation technologies, of course, we will be leveraging our full stack capabilities developed in-house. With that, we will continue to improve the experience and also the performance of our products, and we believe that this will give us a strong product competitiveness worldwide. And also the continuous investment into the research and the development of the core technologies will also help us to optimize and improve the vehicle margin, as well as improving the efficiencies of our operations and R&D.
Thank you, Jing.
Okay, thank you. That's all for my question. Thank you.
The next question comes from Edison Yu of Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I have one question. I'm wondering, what is the management team's openness to embarking on some more strategic action? We've obviously seen a lot of activity from the European OEMs in China trying to revive or restructure their efforts. And I also think in the context of, I think NIO has made some mistakes. We talked a lot about sales, the sales force today. We had a lot of supply issues last year, many of which are related actually to more traditional auto side. Could we perhaps benefit actually from having some more closer strategic relationships with some of the OEMs out there? Thank you.
谢谢 Edison。当然，我们对各种的合作当然是开放的这个毫无疑问的。我们当然目前没有任何的信息需要跟大家沟通。从一个方向的角度来讲，当然我们现在的智能化的技术，我们的充换电网络，当然这个我们相信对整个行业都是能够帮助整个行业去加快这个转型的那我们从近期我们其实在我们的 Power Day 上已经说到了我们的下一代的电池包和我们整个的换电网络，我们是愿意向这个整个行业去开放的也有一些汽车公司在跟我们进行这方面的一些很初期的讨论因为如果他们要用到我们的换电网络和我们的一些技术的话呢，他们需要对他们的车距进行一些这个重新的这样的一些研发和它的一些改造这个也是一个比较大的决定，对他们来说也需要一些时间。所以总的来说，我们对于推动整个行业往电动化、往智能电动方面转型，我们是非常 open 的。
Thank you, Edison, for your question. Overall speaking, we are very open to all kinds of cooperations with the peers in the industry. But so far, we don't have much information to update or share with you. But if you look at our smart technologies as well as our charging and swapping networks, actually we aim to use these technologies to catalyze the transformation of the entire industry. As we've also announced at the Power Day 2023, we are willing to open up our next generation battery technologies as well as our charging and swapping networks to the entire industry. Right now, we're in some initial communications with certain OEMs. They are also thinking about using our battery technologies or swapping networks. But to use that technologies, they need to adapt their products to our standards, which can take some time for them to make the final decisions. But overall speaking, we are very open to all kinds of cooperations.
那我想补充一下，事实上来讲，我们的充电网络，80%以上的这种电量都是由蔚来以外的这些汽车品牌的用户去使用的。前一段时间还有一个在新疆的赛里木湖的一个在网络媒体上还被提到的一件事情，就是我们呢，因为那个目的地充电桩这个旅游路线太热了，我们只好把有一些时间限定在给我们的用户服务那这个还让很多别的品牌的用户有一些抱怨，当然我们也是迫不得已。但从另外一方面来讲，也能看出我们的整个的这个换电的基础设施帮助了非常多的这个电动汽车的用户，在这方面我们一直都是非常开放。
And in terms of our existing charging network, so far 80% of our electricities are actually charged for the non-NIO users. Maybe you've also read this on news recently in Xinjiang's Serim Lake. Because it's such a popular tourist spot, we have to limit access to our public chargers for the non-NIO users at certain time frames, and that caused some complaints by the non-NIO users. But overall speaking, it's also a very good example showing our existing charging and swapping facilities are helping many EV users, not just the users of the NIO.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Edison.
As there are no further questions now, I'd like to turn the call back over to the company for any closing remarks.
Thank you once again for joining us today. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact the NIO's Investor Relations team through the contact information provided on our website. This concludes the conference call. You may now disconnect your line. Thank you.